Well, we're here at the Craftsman DIY Pavilion at Barrett-Jackson, and my friend Dan Sandberg.
Hello, Alan.
President and CEO of Brembo Brakes, the choice of champions. You can see off to the side there, we're doing demonstrations on how you can have the best brakes on your car, because you guys don't just make brakes for Ferrari and Porsche and Lamborghini, and oh, by the way, the GT500 behind us. I have one of these, so I know. You guys really are you're reaching out a little further down into the kind of the everyman, everyday car. Right?
We are, and that's why we're here. We're trying to explain to the consumers, the guys who really have passion for cars, that they don't have to have those fancy cars. They can get Brembo, they can put it on the car themselves. There's various levels where they can be, so they don't have to spend a lot of money on as much as they think. You know, they're not going out and getting a NASCAR racing system here. Right. They're getting a brake system that's great, and it can be put on their own car at a reasonable price.
And that's a perception, I think, that goes along with when you see a Ferrari and you look in the wheel well there, and inside the wheel and the window you see Brembo poking out, you go, well, it's got to be expensive. Well, some of them are, right?
You know, it's a premium product, and,
right.
and it has a premium price, but it does not have an unreachable premium price.
Right.
So it's easily attainable for really anyone who has a vehicle at different levels.
So what makes a good brake really good, instead of just, because it isn't just brakes or brakes. I mean, there's good brakes like Brembo, and then there's, you know, inexpensive, just kind of, you know, brake brakes.
I think you start at the first level, what I call sort of the starter level from Brembo, and that's when you take a look at just your aftermarket replacement brakes, all right? And those brakes, when they come from Brembo, are made with the original equipment specifications, what we call OE specs, all right? So the original equipment specs and the specifications that were supposed to go on that vehicle, that's the most important, because if they're a little bit out of specification, you're gonna have issues with when you start to brake, you're gonna have issues where they're not gonna be totally square, even though it's round, but you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
The specifications aren't there, and you're going to get some variation, and then after you brake a few more times, all of a sudden, you know, you get this judder and shaking that you see, and that's what everybody complains about. So you start with those aftermarket brakes, and that's where it starts, with the rotor and the specifications on the rotor. Then you can start to move up. You go into our sport rotors, which are an aesthetic piece where you can get drilled or slotted, and then they're specially coated, and that gives a nice visual for the consumer on his car. And then you can go up one more step if you want and put a full Brembo kit on your car, which is could be a red caliper, could be a different color caliper, and again, that caliper is going to be aluminum. It's going to be a fixed aluminum, so it's going to be a solid aluminum caliper, which gives you that stiffness. You want something that's stiff, because when you want to brake, you don't want it in pieces, so there's pieces that are moving, right. And you get that stiffness that you need for high performance braking. So it's that's your top option if you want to be a do-it-yourselfer, or you want to get a kit and maybe have your mechanic do it for you. You get a GT kit and put it on your car, and it's great looking, performs great, and it's Brembo.
Whether it's NASCAR, whether it's F1 or grassroots, the winners, the champions, choose Brembo. And Dan, I'm so glad to be you know, involved in your world now. We went to the F1 race at the Circuit of Americas together, and unbelievable technology. When you go into the Ferrari garage, it's as clean as a laboratory, and you know, they're using Brembo. We want to show you guys the best of the best products for your vehicles, and the fact that you can put them on and be a DIYer and do it at home. So thanks again, man.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate the invitation.
From the DIY Pavilion, you never know who you're going to see. Craftsman is bringing some of the stars of Barrett-Jackson right here to you, right here at the world of DIY, the Pavilion at Barrett-Jackson.